Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my JavaScript lessons. So far, as you remember, we have completed 3 lessons, and I have presented you around 30 JavaScript codes, JavaScript examples, and today we're going on our lectures, lessons, and in lesson 4 I will present you another 10 JavaScript codes, and I will describe the codes, commands, methods one by one, and after that I will run that code using internal browser, and you will see the run code, evaluated code, and we're going on like this. Okay, in our functions lesson, we're going to exercise a return statement. As always, I will show you a script block here, and within this script block, I define a function, a concatenate function. Concatenate function will make together the arguments. I have 2 arguments here, first and last, and I have another variable defined here, such as full, and full will be sum of the first and last argument. So I have a return keyword here, so it's gonna return the value of full, and that's all with function concatenate. And I have another function, a second function. I call it second function, and within this function frame, I define a variable, a result variable, and the result variable will concatenate 2 arguments as well. The first argument is my first name, and my second name the other, Hasan Zeki, and I here will recall a write method. So write method will print out, will display the result on the screen. In fact, that's all with our script code. How about buttons here? So within form structure, form body, I define a button. Its type button, and it can be activated on click, second function, by activating second function, and its value, or other saying its name, will be call function. That's to say, we can call this function by clicking on this button. That's all, and this is not a script comment, it's a HTML comment, in fact. So whenever we write anything out of script comment, it can be displayed as if it's a HTML explanation, right? So just I have to run this code and to show you the result. And this is the description. Okay, here live demo and JavaScript function. The return statement. Okay, our script command, script block runs here, and when we when we click on button, second function, okay, just I have to show you like this. Hasan Zeki, the first and the second arguments will be concatenated as a result of second function, because when we click on this button, it's gonna activate second function. In fact, other saying, it's gonna recall a second function. So second, as a result of a second function, it's after it's performing, this method will be recalled, and Hasan plus Zeki will be displayed on the screen like this. And just I'd like to show you first concatenate, first and last. Okay, okay, let me show you another example here. Okay, this is another example for nested structures. Just as a result of nested structures, we can define functions in a nested manner. I here define one function, hypotenuse function, accepting a and b two arguments. Okay, and inside this function, I define another function, square function. So it's gonna accept the argument, and it's gonna return the square of this x variable. I mean, it's multiplied by itself. And how about math square? This is a ready-made function, building function, math square. So it's gonna take this square and this square. This is somehow the calculation of a Pythagorean triangle, as you remember, as you guess. And how about our second function? Here within these curly brackets, okay, I define another function here. So I define a result variable, and the result will include the hypotenuse of this function. So it's going to accept 1 and 2 parameters, and I here recall our right method once again. So it's going to be written on the screen, the result value, the value of result. Okay. How about buttons? I here click the following button to call the function. This is the paraphrasing expression. This is the explanation just above the button, or other saying just before the button, and it prompts the user about the function of this button. And here within a form structure, okay, form framework, I define a button just as repeated always. Type equals under brackets just will be enough to create a button. And how about its activation? On click variable will be assigned as second function. So when we click on this button, so a second function will be recalled. Okay, and how about its name? Its name, or other saying the title of this button, will be call function. Okay, as you see. And when we call this one, hypotenuse of this triangle will be calculated 1 plus 4, other saying 4 plus 1, square root of 4 plus 1, or other saying square root of 5 equals to this number. Okay, how about another example? As you can see, it's very easy to activate any action, any event by clicking on the button, and just you have to define functions within a script block, and you have to correlate the button's function, button activation, and function itself. So it easily calls this one, and this method is recalled whatever you would like to. It can be written or it can be displayed on the screen like this. How about this one? Here I define a function, and I accept this as a constructor, in fact. So this is a script block, and I define a constructor. This is the structure in order to create a constructor, you guys. Just it resembles to object creation of a class. It's very simple. It's very similar, in fact. So var func equal to be assigned as new function. So as a result, we can create an instance of this function. That's translated like this. Once again, by means of this line, okay, we are creating an instance of this function. And how about the arguments? It's going to be accept one argument x, one argument, another argument y, and another argument return value. Okay, just we're trying to find out hypotenuse of this once again, as I remember. Okay, I define a second function here. So our result variable is defined here. Result will be assigned as an instance of this function. Okay, this is an instance of function. However, this time we are placing two arguments here, one argument and the second argument here. That's to say x will be assigned as 10 and y will be assigned as 20. Okay, correspond one-to-one correspondence must be observed here, x and y. Okay, and result will be x times y, x multiplied by y. It's very easy to print out or to display the result. Okay, just we are multiplying the parameter x and y. And how about our button creation and activation? So here once again within the form framework, I define button. Okay, we are very familiar about this code anymore. One click, second function. So second function is just activated by means of this click, and the value, okay, call function. Just when I click this, just 20 times 10 is multiplied and 200 is displayed on the screen. Just we can enrich the view of this result. Just we can add an explanation or titles, etc. Okay, on-click event type. I'd like to give an example of on-click event type. Here I define similarly a say hello function here, say hello, and when this say hello function is recalled, an alert box will be created on the screen just saying hello world, and that's all. Just as you can see, our script block is very limited, and just one method is recalled, and it causes to create an alert box on the screen. And how about our button activation? Here I define, at first I define a button, type button, and on click action, on click activity, it's gonna be recalled say hello function. Okay, say hello function is here already, and this is the title of that button. And when we run this on our internal browser, just we can see that this is click the following button and see this is the explanation, right? Okay, and say hello, it's a name, say hello, like this. Say hello, okay. And when I click this one, okay, hello world message is printed out as an alert box. Just when you have written this HTML code, you can run it by clicking on right button with your mouse, and it's gonna make the same action, and it's gonna show the same result, you guys. Okay, let me show you another example. This is the fifth example of this lesson. On mouse and on mouse over and on mouse out. Okay, this is a good example to present you. For activating any button, it's not necessarily to click on the button. Whenever you move over your mouse, your pointer, it's going to be activated, and when you point outside of that button, it's going to be deactivated. So just when given this information, this extra information, just we can go on with our function definition here. Okay. Okay, I define two functions. Function over, or other saying activating position, and function out, deactivating position. So we have already defined two modes, activating and deactivating. So we have to discriminate all these both functions. For the first time, for the first one, I say mouse is over on the button, and the other is when the pointer is out of the button, this method will be recalled. Mouse out, mode of the mouse is out of the button. So how about mouse activating? For this purpose, I here define a div section here. Div stands for division, in fact. So within this div framework, I define a variable on mouse over. Okay, this is a keyword, and this is over, and it's a method, as you can see here, over. And on mouse out, okay, it's gonna say out. This is simply like this, and this is when we recall over. Okay, this function will be recalled in this case. When the mouse out, okay, out method will be, or out function will be recalled. So it's very easy to activate, to discriminate this. Just when we run once again, just my pointer is out of this one. Okay, whenever on the mouse, on the button, it says mouse over. Okay, this is written on the screen. How about once again? I repeat once again. Okay. Okay, mouse over. It's understood, I think. It's very easy, and we go step by step without confusing any mind confusion, without causing any confusion. So this time, storing cookies. This is another example for this lesson. I define write cookie, okay, and this is a comparison for activating this function. So we focus on this parenthesis for if comparison. Document.form.customer.value equals to an empty. Okay, that's gonna make an alert box. Okay, it will say that enter some value, and it's gonna return. And out of this if comparison, our function will come to an end. In fact, function finishes here. Function is closed, and I define I here define a cookie value. Okay, for this purpose, we have to use escape keyword. Document.myform.customer.value concatenate this one with a semicolon. Okay, this is just template, you guys. Just you have to remember this one, and we have to add this one. And how about document.cookie name plus cookie value? This is gonna be included to the name, yes. And how about recalling the method setting cookies semicolon plus name plus cookie value. So this is gonna be performed within this framework. Okay, like this. Okay, just okay, because if command is performed within this block, right, and our function will be active during all this, including all these commands. How about form creation? Okay, I define a form name my form, and action will be an empty or quotation marks. Okay, enter name, input type and text and customer, and input type will be a button, and the value set cookie, and the activating command will be on click write cookie, and I here recall write cookie method just when I recall this method, it's gonna take the cookie so as to be printed. Okay. Okay. Storing cookies is printed here. Okay. I say Zeki, okay, set cookie, and it's accepted as Zeki, and here name will be assigned as cookie value. So by means of this write method, setting cookies will be printed with semicolon, and name equals to Zeki. My entry as a cookie will be displayed on the screen. Okay, because it's I repeat once again. Okay, here I already define set cookie button. Okay, and when we click on this button, it's gonna recall write cookie. Write cookie is a method, in fact, so it's repeated this action. Okay, when I enter nothing, so it's gonna give an alert, enter some value, because this notation just stands for giving nothing, in fact. Okay, if customer value or the user enters an empty empty entry, it's gonna give enter some value, just as you can see. This is another condition for this one. This time just I enter x, and setting cookies name x, it recalls once again, and name is assigned as x, and it's displayed on the screen. Okay, how about next? Okay, in this example, I'd like to show you how to read the cookies. For this purpose, I define read cookies function here, and for this purpose I define all cookies variable, so it's going to be assigned as document.cookie, and I'd like to print out all cookies with a paraphrasing like this, and I concatenate this explanation with all cookies variable. Okay, our variable is all cookies, and how about getting this in an array? Cookie array will be assigned as all cookies dot split semicolon. How it works, just I would like to show you this way. Just look here for loop. Okay, for loop. Just I'd like to show the affecting region, affecting area for loop. So that means all these commands will be repeated for each step that is included for this for loop. So it's turned to describe this one. So I have a variable I. It's initialized as 0, and as long as I is less than cookie array dot length, so it gives the index of this one. So just I'm looking for the one that is less than the length of this cookie array, and after that, this is the increment value. It's going to be increased one by one. So within these conditions, under these circumstances, these commands will be repeated. So name will be assigned as cookie array index I dot split equals to, and the first index member. And how about the next one? Value cookie array I split another equals sign and index 1. So the rest is very easy. Just the key is name and value is plus value. Just you can remember, you guys, in Python data structures, it is very similar to dictionary structure. In fact, as you remember, in dictionaries there is also a key and value. So key and value just conforms a pair together with key and value. And in this example, just we're trying to write the key and value together in a line. And here our form structure. Okay, here within the body, within body framework, I define a name variable. It's called my form, and action will be an empty action. Okay, and just this is an explanation. Click the following button and see the result. And I define here a button. Okay, value get cookie, and it's activated when it is clicked on. This read cookie is recalled, read cookie method, and that's all. And when I run once again this one, okay, reading cookies will be print out here. Where is it? This one, okay. And click the following button and see the result. This is this message. Click the following button. Just as you can see, without performing the script commands, just it simply goes to the next part, and it displays the normal HTML tag commands and tag data. And whenever it is recalled, or it's activated, or it's generated, it's created, and it creates that one. Just it goes on from beginning to end. However, just starts this case from here. And when we click on the button, it's gonna read cookie and divide it together. It okay. All cookies, name X, local server. Just previous one will be displaced here. This one, this was an example. Okay. Okay. In this case, I set the expiry date for cookies. That means it's gonna expire after a certain time limit, consume time. After a consume time, I define here once again button and its value set cookie, and when I clicked on it's gonna recall a write cookie method, okay, and all this is like this. And how about the name my form? It's gonna called as my form, and action it will be an empty click. And when we look here, function write cookie. Okay, I define another constructor here, another instance of date class, we can say color, and this is our instance. And I can use this now variable such as now dot set mount. Okay, just this is set and get structure. And how about a cookie value? Just I can recall escape method here, so as to recall this one. Okay, and with a semicolon. And I define cookie name plus cookie value. That's evaluated. It's obtained at the previous line. And this is expires, and now up to that time, okay, this will be automatically recalled, and setting cookies and the other trivia. And here without entering, just I'd like to test this script without entry. Setting cookie name, okay, name, it's named nothing. Okay, this one, just I say Zeki. Okay. Setting cookies, printed out on the screen, name and cookie value. I try once again another name, X, okay. Actually, amount is a large time of duration, so we cannot see its function properly, you guys. I have to modify this one. For the next time I will do that. Sorry about that for the time being. Okay. This is another example for showing how to delete a cookie. And just when we focus on this one, I define a form, name of my form. Okay, action it will be an empty. When it is empty, it's gonna do nothing. And this is the input type. Okay, text, name, customer, and this is the button description, the button definition. Set cookie, on click, write cookie. And when I run this one, enter name, Zeki, I say once again. Okay, as you see, case, customer, I say, customer, okay. Write cookie is activated and recalled whenever I click on the button. Okay. Okay, this is for presenting your page refresh, you guys. and I define here an auto refresh. 5000 stands for 5000 milliseconds. That corresponds to 5 seconds in fact. Just when we run this one, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, I here define a set timeout value. So within this timeout, it's gonna print out this message, and t will be print out. The t actually is an argument for auto refresh function. Others saying auto refresh function just accepts a t argument. So here just I can obtain t value here by here auto refresh. This is once again at first it's loaded on auto refresh. So at each 5 seconds it repeats once again. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, it's tested. Okay, that was the end of lesson for you guys. Maybe it's a bit confusing, this cookie section. However, when you watch after and after, you will understand how I described this one, what I described this one. And thanks for your watching me, and we'll meet for lesson 5. And up to that time, keep in peace. Thanks for your watching once again. Bye bye.